The connection that Loewe makes to this campaign is an amazing one. It's a brilliant idea. It has the possibilities to let the consumer understand perfume in a new and different way, in a very organic way. And when we look at Loewe as an example of doing something that brings together a whole body of work, I think it also created the format for the visual images that would express his ideas through the body.
Okay, Matilda, head to the front. Head to the front. We shooting.
You know, he started in 1865 when the American Civil War came to an end and Lincoln was assassinated. 1932, which if we think about that, this is the years when Man Ray, Picabia, Duchamp, and Kiki of Montparnasse were in this house, in this hotel, Istria. And so there's a connection in a way to Loewe even there, because they really admired his work. The surrealists, as they were, found a transformation of the botanical specimen into something of perfection, something of human dimension, and just conceptually something that reflected how they worked themselves, always experimenting and always looking for each image that they made to be different from the next one. And yet, as in Loewe especially, every one of them is the same. And that's a way of working in photography that is very difficult, because people tend to want to create projects, and Loewe's work was never a project. It was an ongoing investigation of the architectural and aesthetic forms of plants. He was working on a lifetime project, and I think that by taking the Loewe perfume into that kind of a context of an ageless, classic, iconic scent and brand is brilliant. This campaign could live for a long, long time. I was doing an homage, while at the same time the pictures are nothing like his, but they reflect that common search for the same and different, the same and different, that is so difficult. And maybe this amazing shoot that we had in the Canary Islands in Tenerife, and the time in which we did it was so brilliant also, because what it did is allowed us to work through each of the 8 brands without losing sight of the whole. Whereas if it had been a shoot of 3 or 4 days even, there might have been a disconnect between, you know, the way that the mind thinks and the way, you know, the image is made. So it also gave us an opportunity to be so flexible that if we made a change because the tide was too high or the wind was too strong or the light was just not right, we could switch things around in the framework of the concept that I was driving for as the director of this, and likewise also in the videos that you were shooting. We held the same kind of approach. We took one take and we made something hopefully miraculous happen. We came to the essence of that still image, so that when people see the advertising and then they see the television, they make the connection and say, I know what this is. And that's what advertising needs to do when it's done to its best. You know, when it strives for the kind of excellence that makes a campaign memorable, effective, and promotes very good sales and acceptance by a wider audience.